name is Morgan and this is my audience. So today I'm doing my topic on e-cigarettes and vaping versus smoking, whether it's better or not. So last year I started smoking cigarettes and I was always getting sick all the time. I never felt any better. I was getting sinus infections, colds, like every other weekend, and I just couldn't understand why until I finally decided to switch to vaping because I felt like it would be a better solution for me because my throat was hurting and I was already addicted to nicotine. And ever since then, I felt so much better. I barely even go to the doctor anymore and everything like that. So I'm doing my pro speech on why it is better. And the reason why it's better is because there are less chemicals in a vape than there are for cigarettes. And it's supposed to help people quit smoking. And it makes people feel better versus when they are smoking a cigarette. So the first topic I want to cover is that there are less chemicals in a cigarette than there are in vaping. There's millions of chemicals that everybody knows that goes into a cigarette. One of those is rat poison and all the other chemicals that you can find underneath your household sink. Cigarettes are the #1 preventable leading cause of death in America. They cause cancer, lungs, any sorts of things that can name. And they also have carbon monoxide and hydrogen xylide, and that can cause secondhand smoke. And that's what gives cigarettes their bad smell. Versus, unlike vaping, they only contain nicotine in them. And according to the Medical Harvard newsletter, an e-cigarette contains a cartridge fluid popularly known as e-liquid. E-liquid is made up of nicotine and flavored dissolves in prolyl, glycol, and glycerin. And e-liquid is superheated by a battery-powered vaporizer and converts to a mist which inhales or vapes. And so basically this article is saying that there's only one chemical that's compared to the same amount as a cigarette, and that's only nicotine, because nicotine is a very powerful, I don't know how to say it. But vaping is one of the things that people think is bad, just like cigarettes. But like I said, it only contains nicotine. And also with it, you can control the amount of nicotine you have in it. It can go from 0 to 12%, and that is what is supposed to help you quit smoking. And the next thing I want to present is that it's supposed to help people quit smoking. Vaping is one of the things that, to me, that I wanted to try to quit smoking cigarettes, but I couldn't do it because I couldn't just quit cold turkey because of the nicotine. It's such a powerful thing that makes you want to keep going. There are patches and gums out there that you can buy, and they cost a lot of money, but it's not the same as like everything, because your body has to be stimuli to like everything, because when you're smoking, your body is doing something while you're smoking. And according to the article from Psychopharmacy, craving intensities is significantly lower with a free smoke than a placebo than a nicotine patch than with the placebo. So basically, the article was saying that there was more people who chose like actually smoking something that was, even if it was fake, versus using a nicotine patch and everything like that. And according to the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, additionally, it was 9.1% in smokers who smoked less than 1 cigarette a month, but 55.1% in smokers who smoked 20 cigarettes a day in South Korea, which kind of shows you that a lot of people still like to smoke versus using a patch or anything like that. And it has and vaping is different than the nicotine and tobacco companies. They're independently owned and everything like that, which is versus tobacco companies, all they're wanting you is to buy their products and to buy all this. And gums and patches are still a part of that because they aren't driven to actually help you quit. They're driven to make you take away from nicotine so long that they want you to eventually go back to those products. And the last thing I want to talk about is how it makes you feel versus smoking a cigarette. Whenever you smoke a cigarette, you can't do anything that you're healthy like you were as a kid, so it shouldn't be healthy for you. According to Discover, vaping from an e-cigarette contains some toxin substance, but a study in 2013 tested a dozen brands of e-cigarettes found a toxicity levels difference between 9 and 450 times lower than a regular cigarette smoke. Vaping is completely safer than smoking an actual cigarette or putting a cigarette in your mouth. Vaping has less chemicals and causing cancers, and they are trying to be FDA regulated. And according to CBN News, a smoker who drops from 20 cigarettes per day down to 15 may not see any meaningful decline in the carcinogen exposure, but however, a smoker cuts back 3 cigarettes per day with the help of a vaping or a nicotine replacement therapy, there are significantly changes in toxic exposure will be clear. And then this is just evidence that vaping does help you quit smoking and it makes you feel better as a person. And that's why I believe that e-vapes and cigarettes are better than smoking a cigarette. And then this is my audience.